Dynasty buy or sell offseason edition. And today we have Calvin Ridley, a guy that, opted out because of mental illness. And we respect that, a huge play. And we're hoping he's going to come back in the 2022 season full in strength to go. 2021 stats, obviously he missed 12 games, only got 281 yards and 2 touchdowns. Didn't really do much because he only played, I think, 5 or 6 games, something like that. And then he opted out. Zach, are you buying or selling Calvin Ridley?
Yeah, so just in Dynasty, buying meaning I want to trade for him, selling meaning I would like to get value for him and trade him away.
Right.
Honestly, I was genuinely ready to come into this segment as a buyer. And then I saw the price that it would take to get Calvin Ridley, according to the community. And that really changed my mind, unfortunately. I am going to be selling him as much as I do love Calvin. And there's a lot of reasons to worry about Calvin Ridley's situation going forward. Yeah, he's shown that he's a good wide receiver, but there's still a lot of reasons that I think that we should be concerned. Number one, where's Ridley going to play and when will he play?
Okay.
All right. The Ridley camp has stated that they want out of Atlanta. Atlanta has stated that they would like to keep Calvin Ridley. Now, there's more reports coming out that he will be traded. He won't be traded.
Right.
Will there be a holdout for Calvin? I mean, is he going to be in a good headspace next year? There's so many unknowns, and I do think that this is a big risk aversion move for you to move on from him at this point. But secondly, there is no promise when Calvin comes back that he is the same Calvin Ridley that we've seen before. Okay,
right. I agree.
I have to admit, I have no idea how mental health has affected his game in 2021. Okay, I have no idea. I'll just say that from the beginning. Has that affected stats? I don't think there's a way for us to know that. I don't think that it's our place to really say. So there could be an aspect here that I am not seeing. But last year was supposed to be Ridley's prove I'm an alpha year, right? You think about the year that AB left the Steelers and Juju was supposed to have the prove I'm an alpha year. Ridley was supposed to have that same year this year, the first year without Julio Jones. And it's a small sample size, but in 5 games, it wasn't very good, guys, okay? Averaged only the 27th most points per game, okay? The 27th best wide receiver in the 5 games that he played. If you compare that to 2020, he was the 4th best wide receiver the entire year, okay? He only averaged 56 yards per game this year. Almost every analytic that you look at from 2020 is now down in 2021. All this, by the way, you might be asking, well, what if he just didn't get the opportunities? He did. He had the 7th most targets per game in that time stretch. Okay, he had the 7th most targets per game, and there was even a bye in between there, so it could have been higher. So it's impossible to predict if his new situation is going to be better. And that's another reason why I'm worried. Like, we're all assuming, well, he's going to get traded and he's going to be an alpha. Well, we don't know that. We don't know where he's going to be traded. We don't know the situation. And at the end of the day, there are so many other wide receivers that I would prefer on my team who seem like they are ranked lower in a lot of people's rankings. So for me, I would like to cash in on Ridley. I don't really need to talk about his age as much, but I just don't think that he proved that he's an alpha wide receiver, right? I mean, I don't think that he did that this year. And what if he is just an elite complementary wide receiver? That can be a very, very relevant fantasy asset. But people are going to hound me because Julio Jones missed a lot of 2020. I get that. But still, what was the reasoning for such poor play in the 5 games? There's probably other reasons around the offensive line in Atlanta. But for me, I just don't know that we're going to see that Ridley again. So it's a risk aversion move.
Okay, look, I completely understand, and I'm by your side, and I am selling. And, mental illness is huge, and that can take a huge toll on anyone. And I don't know anything about it, like Zach said. And, I do believe he was probably, struggling with this probably earlier before the season started. And maybe that affected those 5 games. We just don't know. We really don't know. And I think for me, this 2021 season was just a scratch for – like, I scratched it out. He didn't play for 2021 season. Even though he did play those 5 games, it just felt like, if there was something that was hindering him, maybe it was the offense. Maybe it was, Matty Ice not getting on the same page. But I think he will also probably was mentally not there trying to figure out everything. So, it's not that I don't believe in his talent. I'm just thinking about, can he bounce back? Is this all going to be figured out before the season starts, before the 2022 season? And if he does go to another team, where does he go? I think that's the biggest question. Does he go to an elite quarterback? And not that, Matt Ryan was elite. He was up there, but does he go to a better quarterback like a Patrick Mahomes, a Josh Allen, Joe Burrow? Does he go to a Jared Goff, a Danny Dimes, whatever the case may be? I do believe he could be a alpha wide receiver. I just can't trust, in all due respect, like the process of the mental illness, because I just want to avoid that. Like, I understand it. Mm-hmm. Like, we respect you taking your time off and take as much as you want, but I think I just want to avoid that situation completely. So I'm not questioning his talent. I'm questioning when can he really truly come back, because maybe he'll come back and still be struggling. We just don't know. We just don't know that. So I think in a fantasy perspective, I think I just want to avoid it completely as well. And I'm selling for sure. Like, I've been trying to sell this guy forever, to be completely honest.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's a fair price to pay then. So for me, if I'm looking at pick compensation, I think a mid-first in 2022 is something that I would do. Okay, so like the 105 to the 106, 107. I think in that area, there's a lot of wide receivers in this class that I really love that I think I would rather take a chance on, because they will be establishing themselves in a new team. They will probably get the chance to prove that they're an alpha. And then there's a massive list of players I prefer over Ridley as well, which I think a lot of people might not agree. So Elijah Moore is one of those players. Michael Pittman, Terry McLaurin, Rashad Bateman, Claypool, Hollywood Brown. Like, I know a lot of people won't like some of those, but I would just prefer their situations.
Excuse me, I completely agree. Look, I have Calvin Ridley in one of my leagues, been trying to sell him for weeks. Wow, excuse me, for months. I've been really trying to sell him.
Did you eat some spicy tacos this morning?
I don't know. I'm just some gas or something. I keep burping. Excuse me, guys. But yeah, look, anything in the first, and I've been trying to get, like you said, the 105, 106. People don't want to give it up. They don't want to give it up. They're worried. Right. They're worried, and
you definitely have to find the right 100%. Partner.
I went everywhere. If they're
not a win now team, it might be harder.
And I've been everywhere, and I feel like no one wants to give up a first now. They're at that point where it's like, oh, let's just wait and see. And the longer you wait, I feel like the more question marks are going to happen. So I would personally prefer first, but maybe if you can swindle an early second and a piece, then I'm down to do something like that. But maybe you're losing, and maybe you have to lose in a trade like this when it comes down to Calvin Ridley in the situation, because it's so unique. But yeah, I agree.
That might push me towards a hold. Then, if I'm not getting a first, that would push me towards a hold.
If I can get someone,
unless I can get a player that I like better.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a Rashad Bateman. I think you said. Did you say Rashad Bateman?
I said Bateman. Yeah, okay. I think you get a piece with Rashad as well.
So you think you can get Rashad Bateman and a first for Calvin?
Is that? No, I didn't say a first. I said a piece.
Okay,
so whether that's a second or
and that's what I'm thinking. Player. If you can get an early first and maybe a Bateman for Calvin, maybe you can do something like that. But although the players that you said, I do agree. I think of Elijah Moore, Pittman, Amon-Ra, Hollywood, Claypool, Jerry Jeudy, maybe even Chris Godwin. Maybe you have to throw something else for Chris Godwin. With Calvin Ridley to get Chris Godwin, whatever the case may be. But I like all those players, and I think maybe you have to lose. Just be prepared to lose something for Calvin, in my opinion. But
right, makes sense. All right, guys, let us know down below. I know there is a very strong belief in Ridley in the Dynasty community. It 100%. Just might not be within these leagues. I mean, I know on so many of our live streams, people are like, Ridley's going way too late.
Yeah, they love
him.
Ridley
should have gone over these players. So it depends on what you think. So let us know down below. Comment and let us know. Are you buying or selling Calvin Ridley?
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.